All right, everybody. So today we're gonna finish up the 56 F100 Crown Vic swap. Definitely look forward to getting this thing done. We're gonna cut out the cross member. That was the original one for the transmission. And what we're gonna do is he's gonna knock the rivets out or torch them out, and then we're gonna knock them out. All right, as you can see, the transmission cross member is cut out, knock the rivets out. The next thing I have to do is take the original plates that came with that kit for the lower control arms, and I have to cut them because they don't really fit this truck. The boxes did, but these won't, so I'm gonna have to cut these off, and I don't remember if I have to add it to this side or the other side because I have to punch a hole in it for one of the bolts, because these two are where it bolts up. That one is an alignment dowel. So I'll get these things cut off, and then we'll mount them up on the truck, make a gusset for them, and then weld in the boxes fully. And the front end of the Crown Vic swap is pretty much completed besides boxing the frame in. So let's get started on this thing. All right, so the plate's cut. There's the piece I cut off. And this is the side that faces the control arm. That's the side that you bolt it to. So the bolt's on this side. This is the inside of the frame rail. This is the outside. This piece will sit on there just like that. And then I'll 45 this side and the other side, and same with this piece. And then we'll weld it on, and then we'll punch a hole through here. There'll be a gusset from this piece to the frame. And then this is the side that faces the inside of the frame rail. So it'll get boxed in, and then if I want, I can add a gusset from this to the boxed in part of the frame. So let's 45 these, get both these pieces done, welded together, and then we should be able to get it up underneath the truck and then weld her in. The plates are bolted onto the isolators that bolt to the lower control arm. So now we just gotta get them kind of centered, and then we'll weld them on. And then right down here is just kind of how the gussets are gonna sit on there. I mean, I'll get them straight, but that's how they're gonna look. We gotta make 2 more up, and then once we get it welded on and tacked, or tacked together and all that, then we can come in and fully weld it, and then we'll be able to weld the top of the frame, because where the rivets were, I'll be able to weld, do like a plug weld. and those plates shouldn't go anywhere, especially when we box it in. So once this gets all boxed in, I'm gonna be able to weld it to across here also. So yeah, we just gotta make 2 more of those gussets up, and then everything will be able to get welded in. All right, as you guys see, we pulled the front end back off again. That way we can weld everything up. And then we'll just have to make a little filler piece go in between here. There's the gussets ready. Brackets welded on the inside. Now I just gotta do the outside. Clean this piece up a little bit and then weld up underneath here. Same with on the other side, and then add in that little filler piece. And the front end is all the way completed for being welded up. So the next thing is just doing the sway bar, and that's nothing. I mean, it's just 4 bolts, 2 brackets, so we're good to go. All right, so it's the next day. Everything is fully boxed, or fully welded, I should say, not boxed. Fully welded in. Made a little filler piece for right there. Do have to just fix the frame right here. Just pull it up a little bit. Probably have to put some heat on it. And then these are welded on. Same with the other side. The next thing to do is cut this cross member out, which the only thing you're gonna have to do really is the front or the back has a rivet on each side, and the front has a bolt. So be able to drill them out and then unbolt it and then mount the sway bar bracket, and that'll be done. And then probably what I'll do is, like I said, get that other chassis that's outside, cut that thing up, and start using pieces from that to box this whole front end in. That way it's nice and solid, and I'll probably go underneath the frame as far as I can, And then same with the back. Once we get the rear end that we're gonna use, we'll box the frame in the back too. That way this truck's pretty solid and won't have as much flex as it did with it being original, because these C-channel frames, you know they are, they like to flex a lot. So it'll just keep the truck more stable. Ready, I have to trim the plate just a tiny bit and then weld that stud or that rivet so it doesn't pop out for the cab mount. And then I just got to come over here to this side, do the same thing, grind those two down, or three, and then take that plate off and then just do the same thing. Are ready to get cleaned up, and then we'll start welding. All right, so the plates are ready, and I had to knock out that piece I was talking about, clean them up. They slide right in, but what I have to do first is weld that rivet that you can see shining right there. I have to weld that just because I had to grind most of it off to take that transmission bracket all the way out so we can get these plates slid in. So I'm just gonna weld around it real quick and then slide these plates in and then tack them and then start welding them fully across. So let's get to it. What do you think, Fur? Ready to do some welding? Huh? Yeah? Okay. She's ready. Probably to go inside. Huh? What? Yeah. All right, so now it's time to do the sway bar brackets. Got them measured out, and they really sit very close to the Crown Vic K-member. Not very much of a gap. Like it was 2 3/8.
Yes.
2 3/8 distance between the center hole on the bolt for the Crown Vic, and then also the center hole on the bracket for the sway bar. So yeah, just got to get underneath here, hit them with my punch, and then drill them out. So we're pretty close to being all the way finished, and then I'll weld this bracket in, or the box in right here for this side of the frame real soon to the other side, and then it'll just be welded all the way up and we're done. them are all done. All 4 holes are punched. So what he's doing now is just grinding off the, so we're using the original bolts that came off the Crown Vic frame. And he's just grinding off the stuff that was still left on that stud. So, recycle, reuse. They're welded kind of in almost all the way. I still gotta finish welding them in fully, but I'll bolt that sway bar up real quick and we'll have a look and see how it's gonna fit. Should be just fine. Set it on the ground, and man, this front end's gonna be nice and solid. All right, everybody, so the Crown Vic swap is finally completed. Sway bars in, frames boxed in. I do have to finish welding it in fully, but you guys definitely don't want to see that. It'd just be me welding. So, that being said, this wraps up the video for part 2 of the Crown Vic swap. So if you guys did like today's video on getting the Crown Vic swap finally completed all the way, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, and also the notification bell, that way you guys stay notified on the next thing that I'm going to do to the 56, and that's going to be try to get that 460 thrown on this bad boy. So thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.